Have a nice day, future Ducati owner, or maybe you are just interested in the bike and the issues about it. This is my fourth season with my Ducati 848, and after the season I will sell it and try something new. Not because it's that bad, no, it's not, but I don't know. Every bike what I owned for 4 or 5 years, and then after that I was curious to try something new, and this is also the case about the Ducati. But I have to say the most problems I had with this bike, especially because the last owner took it also every time to the shop, not a problem, but the problems which are factory problems, I had to deal with them, and that's why I do not have that much more trust in the bike. So like I just said, fourth season, in the first two I had always something, and the last one and this one, we are pretty good on the road, I have to say. So I made also a small list, and we can start with the factory problems which will appear on every bike. It doesn't matter if you have 1098 or 1198 or the 848, every bike the same. The first one, the regulator rectifier. Normally, the original regulator rectifier is right down here. This is the two holes. Those are the two holes for it. And I don't know what they thought in the factory of Ducati. The normal OEM regulator rectifier works in the way that, I don't know how should I say in English, heat dissipation. And maybe they thought behind that is the exhaust, and it will be good. It will be warm enough. It will be faster hot if they put the regulator rectifier here. So this one is the first one which always fail. Mine blown the radiator fans. Actually, not the fans, but the fuse. And after that, on the dashboard, you can check the voltage. Luckily, they included it on the cluster. So normally it sits here. And after that, there are two harnesses, wire harnesses. One is this one, okay? One is this one, which goes to the regulator rectifier. And one comes from, I hope you can see, the free yellow wire from the alternator, okay? And the first, what you can see, you take off the fairing, and those are melted, especially the one which comes from the alternator, because this have to deliver between 20 and 70 volt. And this is the voltage which the regulator rectifier has to regulate. This one, I don't know from where it comes, maybe from the ECU, I don't know, but this is much better shape, although I have to say this is the new one which I changed on the bike. Okay, so this goes bad, and what are the options? You can buy a MOSFET regulator, which is the best, and put it right here, but you will have the same problem maybe with the wire harness, and you will have also another problem that the free yellow wire from the alternator, this doesn't have the best seal, and through the wires oil can come through and will come through also. So that's why it's a much better idea if you relocate your new MOSFET regulator. And in this way, the wires will go upwards, like you can see, and don't go with the harness on this side. Solder it directly from the alternator. So the wiring goes upwards, okay? Goes upwards, so the oil can't get through, okay? And this is the other one. I recommend you to buy racing wire harnesses because they can handle a much more voltage. And then when you buy your MOSFET regulator, then it will come with the Triumph wiring harness, which will be good for also for your bike. But like I just said, you will need an extension cable, the racing cable, and you have to solder them together and so on. I hope you can see from this side between the two cylinder. This is the coolant reservoir and this is the air box. So this is the way where you can get the cables through, and it will stay also safe, so it won't get burned or too hot or something. And this is my setup for the MOSFET regulator. From this side it's actually closed, but it has a much better chance to get some air, and the MOSFET regulator will be only maybe hand warm, so maybe body temperature and not 90 degrees or above. Okay, so this bracket, if you want, you can send me your email address and I can send you the measurements, because this is a laser cutted plate, so it works really well and locked on the bike. So I have since 2 years no issues with it. The next one is not a factory issue, just a problem, and you can save yourself some battery and also maybe the spark clutch. The spark clutch is therefore to start the bike, and battery is the battery. So I have a Ursha battery, a new one, but the last one lasted for 3 seasons, and this isn't the case in Ducati's world. And what I just stated at the time when I bought the bike, that I saw some videos that the bike starts it has to work very hard to start the bike, okay? And this is because the factory starter cables are very thin, okay? And you can buy a new set for a high capacity cable set. In the set you will find 3 cables, okay? This is the one, okay, as you can see also maybe the mark on it. This is the second one, okay, for the negative side. And then there is the third one for the starter motor. The third one is actually a radiator leak. It's also a common problem, and it will appear on this side behind this radiator hose. On the radiator you will see hopefully only just something is dropping, and not like you are on a tour and just exploding the hose and will explode the hose. You can buy a Chinese one for like $100. I don't recommend this one. You can buy a used one, okay, but it will go bad again. You can buy a racing one for $300, okay, maybe an option if you racing hard or something. And you can buy the OM one, or you can go with the 5th one, which I did. I left for a guy who can solder it. He did it, and after that they tested it on 1.5 bar also, and actually it lasted long enough, because 1 season I didn't ride it too much, maybe 2,000 kilometers in 1 season, but it's okay. What I just forgot to mention, I used the bike for 8,000 kilometers. Okay, I bought it with 24, and right now it has maybe 32,500 or something. Not much, but yeah, this is what I have time for. Fuel leak in under the airbox. I think this will be a throttle position sensor problem, maybe only on my bike. I don't know, because I noticed that when I start the bike, when I put the battery after winter season inside, and I start the bike has to, I don't know, maybe learn it again, how much fuel it needs. I don't know, because it's just dropping and leaking. But after that, I switched off. The coolant temperature is already at 50 Celsius. It started again, and everything is fine. So I don't know where the problem is. The problem is not the sealant. It's not the seal what I just already changed a few times actually. But after the season, I will take the bike to the shop so they can run through some tests, and I will explain what happened with the bike and what I can see after the winter season. The fuel pump in the tank, which will blow the hose. It didn't happen to me, not yet. But I saw many videos on the internet that on YouTube that the fuel pump isn't priming because there is a hose which is detaching itself from the fuel pump, and then you have to pull out the fuel pump, detach the hose, maybe replace the hose with a new one. I don't know, but lucky me, not yet. Okay, the low beam harnesses. I noticed after a small tour that I do not have the low beam. Okay, I took it out, and the harness was melted together with the light bulb. Okay, I changed the harness, and I drilled also a hole the underside of the low beam cap, the light bulb cap, which is on this side of the bike, water sealing and so on. Because somebody said to me that the heat will go away through this hole and it will be alright. Okay, and after, I don't know, maybe 2 months or something, I do not have the low beam again. And then I decided to go only on the low beam side, because the high beam, you don't use that much, the high beam. And the low beam side, I decided to change the harness, which goes on to the light bulb, to a ceramic one. Much better idea. I have low beam, and it won't get hot. It cannot be melted or something. So it's the way. And like I just said, if you buy one of these bikes, you can do it right away, because later or sooner you will have the problem. It's happening during a trip, or after that maybe you come to your garage and the bike is very hot, also at the front, and then you'll stand alone, and this is the time when it's happening. I don't know. The 848 Evo has a steering damper inside and down there, but the normal 848 does not have one. This is what I ordered from AliExpress, so it wasn't like $100, but I have to say it's functioning, and I can also feel that it has material inside, and you can just regulate also and so on. So I can recommend it to buy one of these, because a steering damper is really a good thing. Okay, that was it, but I have also some extra, which I put on the bike, actually in first season after I bought it. because it makes your ride much, how should I say, smoother, better. The overall feeling, it's better, and you can upgrade little things which makes the bike better, not faster or something. No. It's just about prevent things, and the bike generates also a lot of heat, and if you can prevent some heat, it's also a good idea, and to hold the bike in a good shape. So let's go to the extras. So one of is you can buy on eBay a double-sided tape with heat aluminium on it. So I bought it and I just put it right under the seat, because I don't know if you can see. Yes, can you see my my hand? There is the exhaust, and then you can see also my hand underneath. So yeah, so there is much heat, and it can disappear upwards where you sit. So it's just a little thing, but it maybe can prevent something, and for your comfort. The next one for your comfort is the seat. I live in Hungary, so I left to made it in Hungary, this seat. This was my wish to look like this. This has two type of foam inside, and also like a gelée or something. I don't know how should I say in English. So it gives you a much better ride after all, and also if you were riding with someone else, it is much better than the factory seat. The side fairings. I am 180 centimeter tall, and I have a problem that my knee is touching the side fairing. That's why I don't know if you can see it, but I put a clear wrap, only just this side. I cut it beautifully not to harm the paint, and this can prevent the scratches which can come from my leather suit. I am not a big fan of carbon, but the bike does not have a rear mudguard from the factory, so I bought it a carbon one. It's really good, because otherwise it's a real mess to clean this area. And heat preventing, so those two normally are from metal, and this looks much better, and also this is real carbon, so it's prevent the heat. The Rizoma, the timing cover, it looks really nice, but after that the bike leaks a little bit, because it's Ducati, then it can be a little bit messy. But it looks good. I don't know if you can buy them anymore. This isn't prevent anything, it just looks good. Normally the rear footrest is just too loose, and it's wiggly. I don't know how should I say in English. So I put a rubber ring inside there. I deassembled this one, and I just put a rubber ring over there, so so it won't be too loose like from the factory. The rubber ring isn't that beautiful as it can be, but like I just said, it does its job. LED parking lights. The normal ones are a little bit yellow, and it looks much better if you can put inside LED parking light. And also after you change your regulator rectifier, it will be also right, so you don't have to change them like in your car. You buy one of these from China and you have to change them every 2 or 3 months. I bought also a K&N air filter inside. It's maybe a little bit louder, doesn't prevent any horsepower, I think so, but yeah, a K&N inside, it's always a good thing. the bubble windshield, the normal one, is really small, so I don't go only on mountains or in the city. Like I just said, the factory one isn't that good, and also it looks good. You can see many bikes with like gray or black clutch plate. It's because it wasn't changed, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. I changed it recently, and I noticed after that every good owner what I want to be also, and what you want to be also, hopefully, maxing every fluid in the bike, in the car, and so on. So I maxed it out, and the max is actually at the top. And after that, I was at the mountain and going upwards, and I had like a feeling in the clutch, like it was slipping or something. And after that, I read on a forum that you don't have to max it out, the clutch fluid, because the tube for the clutch runs to on the side of the bike, really near the cylinder. And after you abusing the bike, the fluid will expand. And because there is at the maximum, it will expand onto the other side, so it will push the push rod, and that's why it's maybe you will have a slippery clutch. So leave it in the middle, and then you will be all right. The oil change. I cannot understand this, because it's the same with my car. The manual, the service manual says that I don't want to say wrong, but I think 3 and 6, 3 and 7 liter or something goes into, if you are going to change also the oil filter. I'm changing it every time. I leave the bike for like 10-15 minutes to run everything out. Not after that I shut off the bike, so after 1 day, for example. And after that you have to, the manual says you have to top off to the maximum, the oil level. But after I got the old fluid, the old oil out of the bike, I measure it, 3.2 liter. And it was at the maximum back in last season. 3.2. Okay, so I'm going to add only 3.2 liter in the bike. I'm adding it. Okay, I'm riding. After 1 week, riding. And then I'm looking the level, and then I can look the level, and it is at the maximum. So the manual says after oil filter and oil change, 3.7, I don't know how many liter, which goes inside the bike. And after all, I do everything what I just can, and also without the rear stand, so that the bike is leveled. And it's only 3.2 liter for the maximum. Okay, I have a spare half liter oil, but I don't know why. Just keep it in mind that if you are going to change the oil, do it with only 3.2 liter, and after that, if you are missing something, then you can top it off with the rest. So and that was it. It's maybe doesn't seem that much, and I was able to ride back home every time with the bike. But it's also Ducati. If you want to change, for example, the air filter, you have to take off the mirrors, the windshield with the front, with the headlight cover, and after that you will get to the air filter and also the side fairings. So every time I had to disassemble everything, and that's why it cost a lot of time. If you earn a lot of money, you don't want to deal with it, and then you can take it every time to the shop, you will pay for it, okay? But I love doing things myself, and this is also one of them. So for me, it's a little bit much. I know Ducati is another word, but after 4 seasons, I kept the bike in a good shape, and I'm open for something new. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, then leave it in the comment section below, and I will answer to them what I can. Thank you.